welcome, and take a moment to slow down. Imagine the warmth of aged wood in your hands, the quiet satisfaction of shaping something real, and the deep connection that forms when nature, art, and purpose meet. Today, we are stepping into the world of vintage wood animal making, not just as a form of art, but as an accessible, meaningful, and profitable business for those who love nature, craftsmanship, and timeless beauty. This is a story about creating with intention, selling with honesty, and discovering how simple materials and traditional methods can still thrive in a modern market that is hungry for authenticity. Vintage wood animal art begins with feeling rather than complexity. You do not need expensive machinery or a large workshop to start. What matters most is understanding the soul of the material. Wood carries history. Each piece holds a story shaped by seasons, weather, and time. When you work with reclaimed or responsibly sourced wood, you are already speaking the language of today's conscious buyer. People are no longer searching only for decoration, they are searching for meaning. A wooden animal carved from old timber carries the romance of the past and the responsibility of the future, and this balance is exactly what makes it appealing in the marketplace. The animals themselves are powerful symbols. Across cultures, wooden animals have always represented protection, companionship, strength, and peace. When crafted in a vintage style, they evoke nostalgia and warmth, reminding people of simpler times, childhood memories, and homes filled with handmade objects. This emotional connection is what turns a crafted item into a sellable product. Buyers are not purchasing wood, they are purchasing a feeling. They are buying the comfort of tradition, the beauty of imperfection, and the reassurance that someone, somewhere, took their time to make something honestly. Making vintage wood animals does not require perfection. In fact, perfection can work against you. Small tool marks, subtle asymmetry, and natural grain variations are not flaws, they are features. They tell the customer that this piece is handmade, not mass-produced. In business terms, this uniqueness becomes value. No two pieces are the same, which means no direct competition with factory products. Each sculpture becomes a limited, one-of-a-kind creation, even when made in small batches. The process itself is deeply accessible. Simple hand tools, patience, and observation are enough to begin. Studying animal posture, understanding how weight rests, how stillness feels, and how movement can be suggested with minimal detail allows the maker to create expressive forms without complex techniques. Vintage style favors suggestion over detail, allowing beginners to start with confidence while still producing pieces that feel refined and intentional. This lowers the barrier to entry while maintaining artistic depth. From a business perspective, vintage wood animal art aligns perfectly with modern trends. Sustainability, slow living, handmade products, and nature-inspired decor are not passing fashions, they are growing movements. Customers want to support small makers, ethical practices, and art that feels personal. By positioning your work as responsibly made, inspired by tradition, and created with respect for nature, you naturally attract an audience that values quality over quantity and story over speed. Selling these pieces does not rely on aggressive marketing. The art itself communicates. A faceless YouTube channel becomes a powerful tool here, allowing viewers to focus entirely on the process, the textures, the sounds, and the transformation from raw wood to finished animal. Watching something being made slowly builds trust. Trust builds desire. Desire builds sales. By sharing your process openly, you invite viewers into your world, and many will want to own a piece of it. Pricing vintage wood animals should reflect time, intention, and uniqueness rather than material cost alone. Customers who appreciate handmade art understand this. They are not comparing your work to factory decor, they are comparing it to emotional value. A well-crafted wooden animal placed in a home becomes a conversation piece, a gift with meaning, or a personal symbol. These uses allow for healthy profit margins without feeling exploitative. The beauty of this business model is scalability without losing soul. You can begin with a small number of designs, refine them, and allow your style to become recognizable. Over time, collectors begin to follow your work, waiting for new pieces rather than expecting endless inventory. Scarcity, when natural and honest, increases demand. This approach keeps production sustainable for both the maker and the environment. Vintage wood animal making also invites collaboration with nature itself. Using fallen trees, reclaimed furniture, or discarded wood gives new life to materials that would otherwise be wasted. This story resonates deeply with buyers. When you share where the wood came from and how it was transformed, the product becomes part of a larger narrative of renewal and respect. This emotional storytelling is one of the strongest tools in modern creative business. For viewers watching your video, inspiration comes not only from the finished pieces but from the lifestyle behind them. The quiet workspace, the slow pace, the absence of rush, and the visible enjoyment in making all suggest a different way of living and earning. This inspires others to imagine themselves doing the same, even if only as a side business at first. The idea that art and income can coexist peacefully is powerful. As skills grow, so does confidence. Makers begin to experiment with posture, scale, and expression while staying true to vintage simplicity. A slight tilt of a head, a grounded stance, or a softened edge can completely change the emotional impact of a piece. Learning to read these subtle differences is part of the craft, and part of what keeps the business creatively fulfilling. The intersection of accessible craftsmanship and market appeal lies in this balance. The work must remain enjoyable to make and meaningful to sell. When the process feels calm and the product feels honest, customers sense it. They are drawn not only to the object but to the integrity behind it. Over time, vintage wood animal art becomes more than a business. It becomes a personal signature. People recognize the warmth, the restraint, and the quiet confidence in the work. This recognition builds long-term value far beyond individual sales. It builds a brand rooted in authenticity rather than trend. As a faceless YouTube video, this story unfolds gently. The visuals do not rush. The narration feels like an invitation rather than instruction. Viewers are not pressured to buy or create. They are inspired to consider a slower, more intentional path. That inspiration alone creates loyalty and engagement, which naturally supports business growth. In the end, vintage wood animal making succeeds because it aligns human creativity with natural rhythm. It respects material, honors tradition, and meets modern demand without compromise. It proves that profitable business does not have to be loud, fast, or wasteful. It can be quiet, patient, and deeply rewarding. As we come to a close, remember that every great craft begins with curiosity and care. Vintage wood animal art offers a way to create beauty, support yourself, and stay connected to nature at the same time. Whether you are a maker, a viewer, or a future collector, you are part of this cycle of appreciation. Thank you for spending this time here, for valuing craftsmanship, and for believing that art, made slowly, can still find its place in the modern world. Until next time, may your hands stay inspired, your materials respected, and your creativity grounded in warmth and purpose.